Welcome back, everyone. New transmitter here. It's called the GD-2007S 7-watt FM stereo transmitter. This transmitter looks very similar to the CZE, CZH, all those different ones, but it's newer and it's not available in many places. So I thought this one would be better. It's got a nice look to it. It looks sort of gray in the video, but in real life it's got a sort of cyan kind of look, almost like a turquoise sort of look, so it looks a little bit different. It's pretty small. I don't know how big the CZE actually is because I don't have one, but you can see based on my hand, this thing is much smaller than it looks in the videos. It's a lot smaller. The top, this is kind of annoying. I don't know if the CZHs do this, but like if you pick it up and just, carry it around, it makes that kind of noise. So that's a little bit annoying. Okay, so it's got a line in and a microphone. As you can see, they mislabeled. Either they mislabeled or it is wired up wrong. They have the green one being the microphone and the audio one being this, which is backwards. I don't know if it's actually what we're going to find out. I'm not sure which one to hook up, but I'm going to probably pay attention to the label more than the color. We'll see. So it's got a little fan here that just says, it says blow. It doesn't say fan, it says blow. And then, yeah, can't on air without antenna. Okay, made in China. Yep, obviously. And the antenna is a BNC, standard BNC cable. I just put a little adapter on it because I don't have a normal BNC. And then it's a 12 volt, 2 amp power adapter. This thing did not come with a power adapter at all. So I'm electing to use this thing that I just had from a mini PC that I got. It's 12 volt 3 amps, so it should be perfect for this. But this thing didn't come with a power supply, even though it seemed like it should have, based on the pictures and stuff. I thought it was going to, but it didn't. It did come with a cigarette lighter car adapter, though. So you can plug this thing into a car with what comes with it. But there's nothing to plug it into the wall. And doesn't come with any antenna or any of that. You need to get all that separately. I've already opened this thing up off video, but we're going to open it up on video for you. But before we do any of that, we're going to test it out. We're just going to turn it on, and we're going to put it into the standard bird meter, and we're going to see what kind of output we get. So this thing is meant to be 7 watts. I've got a 5 watt in there right now, as you can tell. I also have a 50 watt right here, just because I don't have a 10 watter. So we're going to be loading the 50 watter in there if it goes above 5 watts. So yeah, that's about it. Let's get ready. This is the first time I'm turning this on, so I haven't seen this either. But I have seen the inside of it. I hear the fan. The fan's going. What's it look like? 99.9. Okay. And, alright. The wattage is bouncing around a little bit. I think it's actually writing the frequency faster than the display can refresh it. So those artifacts there? Yeah, the display can't refresh it. It doesn't look as bad in real life as it does on camera, but yeah, it's still a little bit strange. But what's good about that is it seems like it is actually reading, like it must have an SWR coupler on it, because it seems like it's actually reading the real life power that's being put out. It's not just like set to 5 watts. You know, it's actually sampling the RF and reading it. So that's interesting. So it says we're almost putting out 6 watts, basically, at 99.9. So, is that true? Oh, okay. 5 watts. We're clearly well over 5 watts. Alright, let's turn this in reverse. No reflected. Okay. So we're good. Yep. More than 5 watts. So, let's install. Actually, I probably should just use the multiplier. I have a multiplier on this thing. But let's just see what we're getting here. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're getting about 6 watts. Huh. Yeah, okay, so that's good. That's almost exactly right. I like that. Yeah, okay. So let's see what kind of settings we get here. So it's turn and push, basically. So let's see what happens when we push. Nothing happens when we push. Maybe we hold. Nothing happens when we push and hold. Huh. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. 99.9. Okay, 6. Power set. Yeah, see, you can't read it on the camera, but in real life, it looks more like it's saying 6.0, but yeah, it's not very optimal. So let's go forward. Frequency set, 99.9. Mode set, STE, so I'm assuming that means stereo. Audio set, 90%. Microphone set, 94%. RF set on. Pre-emphasis. Reflected. Okay, 0.2 watts reflected, I guess? Is that what that means? Probably. So it's set to 6 watts right now. Now this thing is meant to be 7. So can we... Okay. Can we set it to 7? Oh yeah, I see 7. Does it go higher than 7? It looks like it could be going a little higher than... No, it looks like 7.3. I think. Okay, let's set it. Alright. Alright, so do we get a little more? Oh, wow. Okay. This thing is pretty good. Okay, so we're getting almost 10 watts. So it's making a little more. This thing might be not correct, but let's try one thing quickly here. I'm going to put this 5 water in. We're going to go forward. Okay, so now with the 5 water, as you can tell, we're putting out over 5 again. So now I'm going to try the multiplier thing. I'm not sure if that's the right multi. That might be it. Ooh. Wow, yeah, I think that it. I think it is putting out, yeah, 9 watts. Yeah, I think it is. Because the 100 should be 10. Alright, let me put the other one back in. Come on. Yeah, 9 watt. And reflected, nothing. According to it, something was a little reflected, but I'm impressed by that. That's pretty nice. Oh, I just remembered something you'll see later in the video. I think I know why it's like that. But anyway. So we got that. Okay. Now let's check the frequency. let's go all the way down. I don't know if it's still transmitting as I'm changing it. I see the power output is still going out. So that's kind of interesting. It should kill the RF. Does it go? Oh yeah, it goes lower. Oh, okay. It goes to... Oh, I see it move around. Okay. Yeah, it's transmitting as I'm setting. And it appears to be not like it's transmitting on the old frequency and just waiting for me to select it. It's actually changing the frequency as I'm changing it. Because I see the power jumping all over the place on the meter. So that makes me think this thing, you've got to be very careful about how you use this thing if you're not on a tuned system, because you might not want to change it if it's going to be doing that. Okay, so we're on 87.9 now. It says we got a little less power, I guess, now. And yeah, we can see the power is a little less right there. Okay, but not by much, like a watt less. Well, maybe a watt and a half, something like that. Okay, so pretty good. So let's go to 108 frequency. .108. Okay, now we're on 108. Okay. Even lower. Okay, 5 watts. At 108 we get 5 watts. Alright. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to lower the power a little bit, just to make it a little easier on it. And I also want to see how I can lower. It's not lowering the power. It doesn't seem to be working. Can you not actually set it? Okay, hold on. I'm going to set this to 87.9. Okay. Power set. Yeah, it's not going down. This is meant to have continuously... Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Okay, 4, 3. Yeah, and I can see it going down. Okay, and it's going down smoothly. I guess it's just kind of finicky. It's a little weird. Like, you have to keep trying for some reason, but then eventually it works. Yeah, so I got it set. Let's do 1 watt. Okay, 1 watt. Right. Now let's see, what do we have? Yeah, just barely under a watt. I mean, it's pretty close. Let's put in the 5 for this one. Okay. Yeah. So that's not bad. Just barely under a watt. So it's not perfect, but that's pretty good for a cheap Chinese. I'm pretty impressed by that. Can we go down smoothly even lower? Yep, it's going down. Here, look. It goes smoothly. 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. It says 0.1. That's not right. Okay, that's 0 according to it. And that's 0.1. So let's keep going up here. Okay, that's considered a watt right there. 1.5 watt. Yeah, well, I mean, even if the numbers aren't perfectly right, that is really good. It's amazing to have a fully, smoothly adjustable Chinese transmitter. I haven't seen anything like that before, except on the really expensive ones like the PLL VCO ones. The Pro ones are like that, but I haven't seen a small transmitter such as this one that is fully adjustable. So that's how much we got at 4. Okay, it calls that 4. And we'll go all the way. Or maybe not all the way. I think I'll give it a little headroom. Yeah, it's not too warm. Feels good. The air coming out the fan in the back is a little warm, but it's not bad. Alright, so now we got mode set, stereo. Can we set it to mono? Yes, we can. Alright, that's very good. Now we're going to have to check on the spectrum analyzer. I will do that in a bit. Now pre-emphasis. Okay. Does it... No. No, you can't change it. It's like, why? Why do you show it if you can't change it? There's no point. So no, you can't change the pre-emphasis. You probably have to... Maybe internally you can modify it. I think you probably can. Because this thing, it uses a BH chip. I forgot to mention that. We will see later. I thought it was going to be better. Alright, you're looking at the spectrum here. Spanned out. There's the harmonic. It's very low. It looks pretty good. Okay. And we're up there at about, that's -6 right there. Okay. So you can see where that is. At about -3. So it's pretty good on that. And that looks pretty narrow and pretty clean. So let's zoom in on that and check it out. Okay, so now we're zoomed in. You can see some BH chip noise, but we gotta keep zooming. We're still only a megahertz span or a little over that. So we keep zooming. As you can see, there's some jumbliness down there. There's some noise down there. Now this is without the stereo turned on. This is mono. Okay. You can see the span up there. Yeah, so it looks kind of noisy. As you can see down there, it's kind of moving around. This is without any audio plugged into it at all. Let's see what happens if I turn the stereo on. Oh, I can see it. I can see it. Ha, look at that. Wow. Yeah, the BH chip is really bad with the stereo. When you use it with mono, it's not too bad. But look at that. That's really bad with the stereo. But with the mono, it's not really any worse than the Quintec, really. Yeah, it's not that bad with the mono. Because that's like, it looks like audio frequency in there. Yeah, see, it just looks like a mountain. It's like, yeah, that's not very good. It's a porcupine. But then if I turn it off, we will see, it gets a lot better. There's still some noise down there, but it gets a lot better. However, this thing appears to be very clean in the rest of the spectrum. There's no harmonics or anything like that. So now let's get on to opening it up and we'll see what it looks like inside. Okay, so I just took the 4 screws off there and I unscrewed the little nut that was on here. Okay, so we got a fan right there, obviously. Little square heat sink in here that is pretty warm. Yeah, actually, it's pretty warm. Like I feel if it was just a little warmer, I wouldn't want to keep my hand on it. So it's actually kind of warm. And I'm noticing that this fan here, this is really far back. So this is not sucking right out of here. There's a big space. So it's not going to duct through here like it's meant to. They shouldn't have done it that way. I don't know. I mean, if there was any way they could have moved this heatsink forward so it would mesh with this, that would have been better, but they didn't do that. As you can see, this is a motherboard audio connector, it looks like. That's the style that they're using there. So, this slides out, and there it is. Do you see it? There it is. The BH chip. Now, the lettering is slightly rubbed off. But if you look very closely, you can see BH on there. And it says, I can see with my eyes, it says BH1415F. And plus, I know exactly what they look like. That's exactly what they look like. So that's the chip that they're using in here. So not the best chip, obviously, but not the worst either. But I was hoping for a real PLL VCO because this transmitter seemed to be higher end than the CZE, CZH, all those. So I thought it was going to have a VCO, but it doesn't. But I do like the fully adjustable power. That's nice. You can see it's got a 3-way, or I don't know what you call that. 6-way low-pass filter. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, so it's got that. Okay, so the part that's really interesting here. Okay, see, there's the MOSFET, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a mirror, I think. I don't know if I'll be able to find one, but see that? It's hard to see it. See the legs of the MOSFET there? They're actually twisted all around. They put the thing in backwards, and so they had to reverse it. See, there it is. It's the RD15 HVF1, not the RD06. I thought it was going to be the RD06 because it's a 7-watt transmitter. They usually use the RD06, but they're using the 15-watt, but only running it up to like 9 watts. So that's good. So it's probably going to last a while. But yeah, they messed up how they soldered that thing. It's all backwards. So they had to fix that. But, I mean, it seems to work anyway, so that's good. You can see they put an inductor into the board right there. And right here is the SWR bridge. It's hard to see because it's getting dark in there. See, there's the SWR bridge. So that's how they're reading the power of the transmitter. So what happens is the RF runs down that line, or the 2 lines, it loops back. It goes this way, and then it loops back. And as it goes across there, those other lines that are parallel to it are reading the forward and reflected power. And so that's how they're getting that readout on the screen, which is really nice. because none of these low-end small transmitters like this have that. So that's a really nice thing to have compared to the STE, CZE, all that, in addition to the adjustable power. Now, I think we're going to call it on this video. I think that's going to be it, just because the audio quality of this transmitter, it uses a BH1415F, so it's going to be the same as the CZE or whatever, so it's not really worth testing the audio on this because I know what it's going to sound like. If you're looking for a transmitter, I wouldn't necessarily just go out and get something like this one, but if you want a cheap Chinese transmitter for maybe driving an amplifier, this one might be a good choice because you get the adjustable output power, so you can put this into any kind of palette amplifier, an RF amplifier, and you know, it doesn't have harmonics, so it's not too bad. So you probably could put it into an amplifier. So that could be a usage for this thing. However, going with a PCS electronics is probably going to be a better idea if you're going into a transmitter. You're getting you want a high quality transmitter that's, you know, not Chinese. And the PCS isn't really going to cost really much more than this. Actually, I think it's roughly the same cost. So there's not really a reason to get this transmitter. The only reason I got it is because I thought it was going to have a real VCO in it. Because the specs seem better, I thought it was going to be a VCO. So that's why I got it. But I wouldn't necessarily get it if I was you. I'm just looking at it because I thought it was interesting. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good rest of your day.